Hi, K-pop lovers. Welcome back to the channel. If you've spent any time in Babymonster content, you already know Chiquita is chaos in the best possible way. But even by her standards, Babymonster's episode of UP CONO turned into one non-stop highlight reel of her being unfiltered, random, and honestly a little unhinged, right up until one moment flipped the entire vibe and left Monsties completely stunned. Stick around, because this one has a twist you probably didn't see coming. Let's set the scene. UP CONO is this newer web series that dropped from a collaboration between SBS Inkigayo and Upbit, and the concept is honestly kind of genius. After artists finish their live stage on Inkigayo, they get whisked away to this specially designed coin karaoke room, decked out, cozy, a little playful, where they sing 2 or 3 songs and just talk. Sometimes it's their own title track. Sometimes it's a song they've always wanted to cover, but never got the chance. It's low pressure, it's intimate, and it strips away the polish of a real stage. No choreography to hide behind.
No pyrotechnics.
No backup dancers to sync with. Just a mic, a screen with lyrics, and whatever personality the artist actually has when the cameras keep rolling. 20 different K-pop acts got the UP CONO treatment, including groups like &TEAM and BOYNEXTDOLAR, and Babymonster landed their episode as part of that lineup. And if you know anything about how these members behave when the formal stage ends, you know this was never going to be a quiet, reserved episode. This is a group that's famously unfiltered the second the cameras catch them off stage, and Chiquita in particular has built an entire reputation around this exact energy. Because here's something that doesn't get talked about enough outside of the Korean fandom, Chiquita has an actual nickname for this. She's called a reaction master. Not because Monsties decided that as an inside joke, but because it's just how she's known in general conversation about her personality. Big laughs, big faces, exaggerated everything. If something's funny, you will absolutely know it from 3 rooms away. If something surprises her, her whole body reacts before her brain even catches up. So when word got out that Chiquita's UP CONO segment had gone viral for her reactions, honestly, nobody was shocked. That's just Tuesday for her. And honestly, the singing wasn't even where the chaos started. Before she got anywhere near the mic for a full song, Chiquita had already turned the episode into a highlight reel just through the talk segments. At one point, the hosts asked her to describe her personal fashion style, and instead of giving some polished, PR-friendly answer about comfort or versatility, she just went straight for it. She said her signature style is blink blink, meaning sparkly, glittery, the kind of fashion that catches light and catches attention. No hesitation, no overthinking it, just an instant, confident answer that felt exactly like her. Then there was the moment that honestly doubles as one of the more oddly relatable things she's said in any interview. She brought up how every single member treats her like the baby of the group, and you could hear the mock frustration in how she said it, because in her head, she's not actually a baby anymore. She's got members younger than her energy-wise, she's grown into herself, and she wants to be seen as an uni too, not just the magne getting babied at every turn. It's a small comment, but it says a lot about how she sees her own place in the group shifting as she's gotten older, even if the rest of Babymonster hasn't quite caught up to that shift yet. And then the hosts hit her with a reminder that actually broke the room a little, pointing out that she's still only 17. The reaction from the hosts wasn't subtle either. Genuine shock, the kind where you can tell they mentally recalibrated everything they thought about her in that exact second, because everything about how she carries herself on camera, the confidence, the comedic timing, the way she runs a conversation, reads far older than her actual age on paper. But the moment that really sealed her reputation as the resident troublemaker came during Farida's turn in the spotlight. The hosts asked Farida whether the bag she'd been eyeing was expensive, and Farida, without missing a beat, admitted it was very expensive. That's when Chiquita swooped in, stuck her hand out toward Farida like she was sealing a deal, and said, essentially, "Just buy it, come on, let's buy it," egging her on like some kind of tiny enabler friend group. Everyone lost it laughing, and Chiquita, clearly aware she'd just stirred something up, immediately followed with, "Can we just cut that scene out, ha ha ha," half joking and half genuinely wondering if she'd get Farida in trouble for encouraging an expensive purchase on camera. What people weren't expecting was the specific song she chose to sing. Chiquita picked Off My Face by Justin Bieber, a slower, moodier track off his Justice album. This isn't a song built for comedy. It's not upbeat, it's not silly, it's this hazy, love-struck kind of ballad about being completely consumed by someone, the kind of song that lives or dies on vocal control and emotional delivery, not stage presence or personality. It's a genuinely tough pick for a casual karaoke moment because there's nowhere to hide if your voice isn't doing the work. And this is where things get interesting because the clip that ended up spreading across TikTok wasn't really about the singing at first. It was about everything happening around the singing. Chiquita, true to form, couldn't just stand there and deliver the song straight. She's making faces. She's throwing in random little movements mid-lyric, the kind of stuff that has nothing to do with the song's actual mood, but everything to do with who she is as a person. It's the vocal equivalent of someone telling a heartbreaking story while accidentally making everyone laugh because of their delivery. If you didn't know the context, you'd probably assume this was one of those watch the idol be silly clips that get clipped for a cheap laugh and nothing more. But then the chorus hits. Your touch blurred my vision. It's your world, and I'm just in it. And something shifts. The randomness doesn't fully disappear. This is still Chiquita, after all. But underneath the exaggerated expressions, her vocal tone locks in. The pitch control on a song that genuinely punishes shaky technique holds steady. The kind of runs and held notes that separate someone who can carry a tune from someone who can actually sing start showing up, and they show up while she's still doing all this loose, unfiltered, funny stuff with her face and her body. That contrast is exactly why this clip did the numbers it did. It's not a clean, serious vocal cover where she's standing still with her eyes closed selling every emotional beat like a ballad competition. It's messier than that, and somehow that makes it hit harder, because you're watching someone be completely themselves and completely skilled at the exact same time, with zero effort to separate the two. Comment sections under the clip were full of people saying some version of the same thing, that they went in expecting a laugh and left actually impressed. And that's the exact tension this video is about. Chiquita isn't performing silly, then serious as two different modes. She's not toggling a switch between goofy magne and trained vocalist. Both things are just happening simultaneously at full volume, and that combination is honestly rare. A lot of idols who are known for comedic timing or big personalities get boxed into that identity, and their actual skill gets treated like a surprising footnote. With Chiquita, it feels less like a footnote and more like two sides of the same coin that she's never bothered separating for the camera. It also says something about what Up CONO is actually good for as a format. On the real Chiquita stage, everything is engineered. The outfits, the formation, the camera cuts hit exactly where the choreography wants them to hit. There's very little room for an idol's raw, unscripted self to leak through. Up CONO strips all of that away and just leaves the person. And when you strip it away for someone like Chiquita, what you get isn't a polished, restrained version of her. You get more of her, not less. The reactions get bigger, not smaller, because there's no stage discipline holding them back anymore. But paradoxically, the vocal ability doesn't get worse in that looser environment. If anything, going by how this clip landed, it holds up just fine without the safety net of a full production behind it. There's also something worth sitting with about why this specific song choice mattered. Off My Face isn't a song built to showcase range in an obvious, crowd-pleasing way. It's subtler than that. It rewards control, breath support, and knowing exactly how much weight to put behind certain lines without oversinging them. Picking a flashy, high-note gymnastics kind of song would have been the safer choice for someone trying to prove vocal skill in a viral clip. Chiquita didn't do that. She picked something moodier and harder to fake your way through, and her reactions throughout it weren't calculated to distract from weak technique. They were just her personality doing its usual thing while her training did its usual thing underneath it, whether she was thinking about that contrast or not. That's really the core of why Monsties latched onto this clip so hard. It's not a "we didn't know she could sing" moment, because longtime fans already knew that from her stage vocals and her placement on tracks like Sheesh and Drip. It's more of a "we forgot how good she actually is because she's always making us laugh" moment. The weird faces and the random little movements aren't a mask over her skill. They're just what happens when someone who's this comfortable in her own artistry stops treating a vocal performance like something that has to be serious to be good. So if you've been sleeping on Chiquita as just the funny Magne, this UP CONO clip is exactly the reset you need. She's proof that you don't have to pick between being the member who makes everyone laugh and the member who makes everyone stop talking to actually listen. Some idols spend years trying to build that duality on purpose. Chiquita just does it by accident mid-chorus, making a weird face the entire time. If this is the first time you're hearing about this moment, go find the clip. Trust me, watching it lands completely differently than just reading about it. And if you're already a monsties who's seen it 50 times, drop your favorite second of chaos from that performance in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for more Babymonster breakdowns like this one, and I'll see you in the next video. Annyeong!